Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike. It is October 23rd. It is just about 3:30, and this is your market recap and option flow review. Rough day, but if you put your stops in place and you had a method, it wasn't a horrible day. Although I did get trapped in Facebook, and that looks like it's going to be dead unless Google hits the ball out of the park later on this week. And we'll talk about that in a bit. All right, so right now we have had a downtrend day. We have not had a trend down day like this in quite some time. If we were to close now, we'd be closing on the dead lows of the day. SPY is right now accelerating to the 8-day. You can kind of see it here, a little bit of capitulation. The Qs have broke the 8-day and are heading for the 21-day. And the IWM is also broke the 8-day, broke the uptrend, broke back down below the downtrend, and is now heading back down towards the 21-day. Overall, it's been a really kind of rough day. I do want to point out in the last couple hours, we have seen decent amount of protection coming in the indexes. SPY just had $1 million sweeper come into it. We've seen lots and lots of small protection, guys. I have it up on the left side of the screen so you can see it. Mostly into some into weeklies, but November 3rd seen a lot of activity as well, as long as November puts. We've seen that in the Qs as well. Part of the weakness in the Qs today is Barron's over the weekend put out a nasty article on FANG. And really, let's just go right to it. FANG names have been leading the down charge in the Qs. Facebook sliced right through the 8-day and through the 21-day, and the 50-day, guys, is right here at 170.60-ish. Amazon, which has earnings this week, $20 down. Sliced through everything, including the 50-day. Ugly. Google, earnings this week. Sliced through the 8 and through the 10 to below the 21-day here. Facebook likes to move off Google earnings. If Google hits a home run, those Facebook calls will explode back up. But it's really asking a lot here. As we're sitting here getting some decent flow coming in, I want to post this to you guys real quick. Of course, I can't get to there right now, so hang on a sec. What we see? We got a big first sign of fear. TLT just saw a big call block. Or just a put block. TLT. I'm trying to type on the screen down below. Really great. TLT November 126 calls. They get swept, about $700,000 worth of them. Big sweeper into TLT. And at the same time we're doing this now, we got more earnings flow come in. SMH, the semis ETF, Jan 98 puts, swept again, 1 million. There's almost $2 million in puts have been swept into that ETF today ahead of earnings here, just so you guys are aware. All right, so we'll talk about the Qs and Google, right? Netflix has been acting a little bit better. It had earnings. It's holding the 21-day here, not taking the heat like everybody else. Tesla had good news over the weekend. They didn't care. They have now sold this off. My one or two calls I had left that I had not sold are going to be worthless this week as they're up here at the 375 strike, unlikely to be recovered. So that's what it is. IBB, biotech, has been weak all day. Earnings really kick in tomorrow, so we'll see how that plays out, all the way down to the 50-day here as well. Energy, weak as earnings are really kicking in there. Lost the 200-day, lost the 8, lost the 21-day here. Right, just lots of weakness like this. XLF still holding in better. Don't look bad here, right? Above the 8-day, really a nice quiet inside day. I sold my Citibank calls today flat. Why? Because just in case here at this point, guys. I'm looking to go back in, but not here. You know, a little weakness there, weakness in GS, showing us that maybe we might get a little bit of some corrective action here. Hard to say. More SPY puts coming in. This time we're seeing SPY 250, 253.50 puts. Swept the Novembers. So lots of puts coming in here at this point. This is okay. This will get us going the right direction. What else can we talk about today? Let's talk about where some of the good flow was and some of the interesting stuff as we head into the rest of the week that's not earnings related as much. Tenet Healthcare on the open, hasn't done much, had big buyers. We saw that. Here they are, big block, $1.8 million, over 10,000 of those Jan 2019-20 calls, and then they swept the Jan this year's 2018 Jan call. So that one looks good. NVIDIA, which had a pretty quiet day. It's closing real weak here, but AMD reports tomorrow night. Intel reports this week. Saw a nice sweeper into the November 210 calls. So that was a nice thing on that upgrade. NVIDIA keeps holding the 8-day and remains a buy off the 8-day until that changes at this point. SPY, God, they're just they're hammering on them now. SPY here just coming in. February, 242 puts. Swept. 530K, $530,000 of those just got swept up. What's the VIX doing here, guys? Let's just go right to it. VIX spiking. All right, so we'll see how this plays out here. We'll have to look at this tomorrow. I don't want to take a position with 30, 25 minutes to go on to the close. What else we talk about? GPS, Gap. Gap had massive put buying all day long. So you can see they swept $680,000 of the November 28th and came back and hit it twice more. Obviously, somebody's expecting something bad here. So you can see them coming in as we have a little while yet before earnings. So if you like to short, that's when you could try. MND Mondelez. DLZ. Mondelez saw huge buying today. All right, we saw big buying today in the Jan 48s. Over 40,000 of those got bought. We saw that they were also playing in the leaps, the Jan 2019 42 calls. So big time buying into Mondelez today ahead of earnings this week. That's a name I'll keep an eye on after earnings. UVXY, we saw action as well, guys. UVXY, they came in, and look at that thing spiking now. We talked about buying that earlier. TVXY, March 31st calls, $650,000 of them got bought. So you see they're saying for some moves. CRM got some call activity today. They were playing ahead of earnings. It's not doing much off of it. Really hard to play, but they bought the November 10th 100 calls. Over 3,200 of them were traded. We saw the SMH sweepers here. That was weird. $1 million sweep into SMH. Why did this get screwed up on me? Yeah. Let's see if I can fix this. All right, I just lost that. IWM. The big ones, though, were in the XLV. XLV December 86 calls. We saw 45,000 of those in the December 86 closing week, but this is a healthcare ETF. And then the other one we saw big buying when was the XBI. That is biotech. Biotech earnings kick in tomorrow. XBI, we saw December 90s, 15,000 of them bought. So right now the market is screaming into the lows of the day and just getting crushed here. Just getting killed here. So at this point, guys, not much to do here. I'm giving you some ideas here. Costco worked out well for us today. I traded that for a small game, but I got stopped out. But Costco triggered like we wanted it to today. It had a nice little move. Target triggered today, had a nice move you could have played. Lulu gave an add-on addition today. So some of the names we were looking at this morning have worked out well. Tonight we'll have to look, and tomorrow we'll come in and see. We'll see what the futures do before I get overly bearish here at this point. So I don't want to get overly bearish here, but I do not like the action here into the close. It looks like we're going to close on the lows. I'd expect some follow through to the downside at this point. MOC is 350 million to sell. That's initial, so that's what we're expecting here. So I'm going to go start paying attention to the market here, guys, at this point, and we will figure this out in a little bit. Have a good evening. I'll catch you guys later.